everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just doing a quick intro here. I'm casually sitting on a Sunday night at home and I'm going to be sewing on my patches onto this duffel bag, and I thought I'd bring you along to show you a little DIY tutorial on how I sew on my patches. So these are not Stony Clover patches, it's a dupe from Etsy. I'll link the letters below, but just so you can see how I sew them on, I thought I'll tune in and record so you can see the process. So here you can see the duffel bag I'm trying to sew these patches onto today. So I have pre-stuck them on. They just had a sticky adhesive back which I peeled on, and I've stuck them in the placement that I want. It says Pixie Dust because I'm a big fan of Disney if you're new to my channel, so follow along for more Disney content. But just so you can see, these letters are stuck on right now and they are peeling off slightly from the corners. It's not stuck on 100% how I would like them to be. So just so they're more secure, I'm going to sew them on. This is the other pouch that I have, and I've used the same letters on this from Etsy as well. This one I haven't sewn it on yet, it's still just glued on. You can see it's very easy to peel off. So I will be sewing these ones on as well. But just to show you the different color options that they have of these letters on Etsy, this is the pink letters and this is the purple and pink letters. So they are really nice colors, they look great together, and from far away and on camera they look pretty nice, but definitely not as nice as these pearl patches. These are my favorite from Stony Clover. Obviously, this bag has a lot of patches and a lot of letters to do, so this is going to take an enormous amount of time and effort, and I'll probably be working at this for multiple nights in a row. I won't complete it all in one night, so going back and forth, doing a little bit at a time makes the job a bit more manageable. But I'll be excited to see how it turns out at the end. If you're attempting this at home, let me know how you go. Leave me a comment if you've had as much luck doing this. I've got my needles here and I'm going to choose the thickest needle because the other thinner needles will be too small and won't go through the patch. So you need to get a thicker needle. This one here I've got, it's quite a thick one, you can't really see it on the camera, and I'm going to thread through my string through the needle and double layer the thread. I don't even know if what I'm doing is going to be on camera. Can't see the viewfinder, but threading it through like this, and I'm going to tie a knot at the end. So I'm tying a knot at the end, which, because this is clear string, it's going to be invisible on the camera. And I'm double knotting the end of it. Might do another example using colourful thread as well next time. But this is got a double knot in the thread now. So we're ready to go through and sew the letters on. Okay, I'm taking the needle onto the inside of the bag so that when we sew it, it's going to be inside the bag, and you just have to feel around for the letters on the outside, and you can sort of see the shadow of them because this is a nylon bag. It's quite thin and see-through, so I can see inside that the letter is right behind it. So putting the needle in, and you can see at the top there as it comes back through the other side, and then catch it when it's coming out and pull the needle. And because we've put a double knot, it's going to stop the string coming all the way through the bag and hold it in its spot, and then go back down through the patch. And I'm going to be sewing on the really thin edge of the letter where this gold part is, because where you have the purple and pink embroidery on these patches, it's a lot thicker. So if you just sew where that edge is with the gold edging, it's a lot easier to sew through that part. And pull the needle back out the other side. So you can see you have the knot here, and we just keep going like this. I'm putting my thimble on. I've just got a plastic thimble here that I like to use, but a metal one is better if you can get a proper one. So I'm using the thimble to push the needle up so that it's less painful on your fingers when you're trying to get that needle all the way through to the other side of the bag. Otherwise, it can be quite painful on your fingers after a while. So we're pulling this through all the way. You can see the end of the string here, which I've knotted, and we're pulling that all the way through till it reaches the other side into the bag. You can see it's got my knot there, so I can't pull the needle any further. I've just done one letter now, which I showed you, so I'm going to start working my way through all of this, and we'll check back in and speed this up so you can see the process in fast forward. Okay, so this is the finished product, guys. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's all securely sewn on there now. You can see it is still lifting off the corners a bit, but that's because I haven't sewn exactly on the edge. The stitching is more around the purple and middle center of the gold part. But it's not going anywhere. It's securely sewn on, so I don't have to worry about things falling off. If you want to look inside, you can see my really amateur stitching inside the bag, so it's all hidden inside the pocket. It kind of outlines the letter with my stitching, so it's not perfect. This is definitely could be a lot better, but with my experience, I'm not mad about it and pretty happy with the result. Obviously, when Stony Clover stitch on patches, they do it a lot more fine and professionally. Their stitches are a lot smaller. I'm sure they probably use a machine as well. I don't think they would do it by hand, but I can't be sure. But for this job, hand stitching is really my only option. So you can see I've outlined the letters using that clear thread all the way down the bag. I have an example here of the Stony Clover letters sewn onto this pouch, and I think honestly for $15 I would rather in the future get Stony Clover to sew on my patches for me, just to save my fingers the pain, because pushing that needle through the letters is quite harsh on your fingers. And this is the Stony Clover sewing you can see they've done on this pouch here I have, and it is so much neater, so much more professional. These Etsy patches are definitely not as good quality. I wouldn't recommend them if you're doing so many. Like this project, I have written Pixie Dust, and it's so many letters. If you break it down, I think for something as large as that, it's worth the money just to get Stony Clover to sew it on for you. But if it's only an item where you want to patch only 1 or 2 on the bag, then I don't think $15 is worth it. I'd rather do it myself if it's just a couple of patches. But for a huge project with so many letters like this Pixie Dust duffel I've done, it is worth $15 to get them to sew it on for you. So small tasks like these two, I'd be happy to just glue it on myself. Most of the time you don't really need to sew them on. It's only for something that's going to be used a lot on the go, like this duffel bag. If you're going through an airport, pushing your duffel through the security when you're going through customs or the TSA, and they're scanning your bag, they're going to be a bit rough with it. So in that fact, I think it is worth sewing them on so they're more secure. So on the left, this purple duffel is the one that I have hand sewn myself. You can see the clear thread there, and it's quite messy. Compared to the one on the right here, this white pouch, inside the sewing is perfect, and that's done professionally by Stony Clover, and that's a big difference. I mean, you can't even compare the two. It's totally different level. I am not that skilled. I'm not a tailor, and it's okay because no one's going to see inside the bag except yourself. But this one, which I've done it really loosely and very wide stitches. So this is going to be one that could come undone easily, because if something gets caught under that stitch and it lifts out of place, it could tear and rip the thread out. This heart pouch I have from Stony Clover is another one that I've sewn on the D-rings myself. So using a needle and thread again, I did stitch on these gold rings onto the top of the bag so that I could attach a chain to it, and now I can use it as a crossbody bag with the long chain attached. Here's another bag from Stony Clover that I've got the D-rings sewn onto the side of the bag, and it's really simple to do, just with needle and thread again, hand sewing the D-rings onto your bag so that you can attach a chain or a key ring, whatever you like. But I'll do that tutorial in another video, so hit the notification bell so you can find out when it goes up. So this is the finished product. I hope you enjoyed the video, maybe you learned something. It does take a few hours for me to get it right. It is a big job and you just need to be patient. Give me a comment if you have any questions. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.